at the chart for Serena Williams. If you were to look at the eastern horizon when she was born, the constellation of Aries was rising at 9 degrees. Aries people it's a very fiery sign. They are great starters, great competitors, good at sports and military. It's a movable sign. She goes places and does things. Now, Aries, you can look at wherever the multicona signs are in anyone's chart and see what they are, what they came here, and what they're learning about in their life. Um, um, the first sign, the fourth sign, fifth, sixth, seventh, ninth, and 11th signs are the ones, and if we look at those houses, those are the things that you're working on in this life. And every chart has 12 houses, and each house is something that, some aspect of our life. So first house has to do with personality, longevity, life purpose. So she's focused on that. She's learning about family. Fourth house has to do with family and property, family harmony. Fifth house has to do with education, children, investments, and she's working on that. Sixth house has to do with health issues, financial issues, delays, disputes. Seventh house has to do with relationships. Ninth house has to do with religion, good fortune, teaching. 11th house has to do with income. So those are the things she's focused on. Now, in each chart, we want to figure out what are the functional benefic planets and what the functional malefic planets. So of all the 12 houses, the 6th, the 8th, and the 12th house are the ones that cause challenges. The other houses are very supportive for us, but these houses help us grow. And so any planet that is in those houses or any multicona sign that rules those houses then becomes a functional malefic, as well as Rahu and Ketu, which are functional malefic for every chart. So we find the 6th sign, which is multicona sign, in the 6th house, and it is ruled by Mercury. So Mercury becomes functional malefic for this chart. We also want to look at any, rising sign degree is 9 degrees. That becomes the most effective point for every house. So any planets that are within 5 degrees of that most effective point have impact. And so Mercury is within 5 degrees. And Mercury afflicts 7 houses away. So it is afflicting the house of relationships and the house of life purpose and longevity. So we want to keep our eye on Mercury. And Rahu and Ketu are also within 5 degrees. And they aspect 5, 7, and 9 houses away, as well as the house that they're in. So Rahu is afflicting the house of family, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this house of research and spiritual growth obstacles, 6, 7, the house of career, 8, 9, the house of expenses. And K2 is afflicting the house that's in, the house of career, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the house of wealth and recognition, 6, 7, the house of family, 8, 9, the house of health issues and financial issues. So the rest of the planets are benefic, but some are weak and causing trouble. So Sun is at 10 degrees, but it's in this house, the 6th house, so it automatically becomes weak. It rules this 5th house of children, investments, and education. Gives her good intellect, good education, and support from her father. And then this house also has to do with entertainment and addiction. So she had some shopping addictions, and Sun is also related to health. So being in this, she has to watch her health. This is the house of health issues. Moon is any planet that is less than 5 degrees or more than 25 becomes weak. So Moon is just slightly weak, ruling the house of family. So can create some issues there. It can. So I think her parents got divorced. So at some point, she did good support from her mother. Moon is mother. Moon is also intuition, but in this case, it's ruling this house of property and family. So Mars is at 21 degrees, and it is debilitated and rules the first house of life purpose. And so because it's debilitated, she needs to take good care of her health and for longevity. And but being Mars is this planet that has to do with competition, and it is the ruler of the first house, and gives her skills in sports and competition. And it's in this fourth house of family. So her parents, her dad started teaching her to play tennis at a very young age, got great support from parents. Mercury is at 6 degrees, and we talked a little bit about Mercury. Mercury has to do with communication. It's in this house of relationships, and so she has to be careful about her communication and relationships. She is known to be brash, and her words can get her into trouble sometimes. She has a very brash personality. Jupiter is at 23 degrees. It becomes weak because it's in this sixth house of conflicts, health issues, and rules the house of good fortune, religion, and teaching. And so this also has to do, this house has to do with father. And so she got good support from her father, helped teaching her about the tennis at a very early age. And Jupiter also has to do with husband and children. So this will give her good husband and children, but she has to be a little bit careful because it is weak. It would be good to strengthen Jupiter. Venus is her strongest planet. It's well placed in its own sign, and it is brings good partnerships, good relationships, and Venus also has to do with beauty. She's very beautiful, and it also gives her talent as in performing arts, acting. She did some acting. Saturn is at 18 degrees. It's ruling the house of income, in the house of delays, setbacks, financial issues, and health issues. So she, again, has to be a little bit careful because it is weak, being in that house. Let's see. So we're going to now look at the Dasha periods. So she won her first title in 1998, and during a Mars Rahu Dasha period. And Rahu gave her the ambition, and Mars gave her that competitive abilities. In 2001, she had some shopping addiction problems. That was a Mars-Mercury period. So Mercury, remember, is functionally malefic and can be affecting things. So that makes sense. In 2003, her sister was killed, and that was during a Mars Sun period. And so Mars has to do with longevity. Sun is related to Sun can be related to family. So that had some influence during that period. In 2010, she had an accident and somehow she cut her feet, and that was during a Rahu Saturn period. Now, Saturn can be related to the body, the skeletal structure, and it's in this house of accidents, so that definitely can be related to what happened there. She got married in 2016 during a Rahu Venus period. Remember, Venus is her best planet. It has to do with relationships. So, that makes sense. So what can we do for remedies to improve her health and everything? We want to strengthen her benefic planets, which are Mars, Moon, Sun, Saturn, and Jupiter. Venus is already strong, doesn't need to be strengthened, but a kavash would be a locket that would contain the yantras for these planets to strengthen them. So she can wear diamonds, no issue. Rubies are good. Blue sapphire, yellow sapphire, pearls, and also red coral. So those are not necessary if you're wearing a gavash, which is much less expensive. We want to transform her functional malefic planets, which are Rahu, Ketu, and Mercury. Mercury, you can help children on Wednesdays, listen to Vishnu chants on Wednesdays to transform Mercury. And Rahu and Ketu, they can be transformed by giving to spiritual organizations. For Ketu, listening to Ganesh chants on Thursdays. And for Rahu, you can donate to cancer research organizations and listen to Shiva chants on Saturdays. And that will help her family. That will help her income and her career. And Mercury will help her health. So those are the main things for Serena Williams.